Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name's Tom, I'm a makeup artist from London. I was just filming a quick foundation comparison video, which you'll be able to watch on my channel. I think it's the previous upload to this. And I thought it would be a good time for me to do a little eyeshadow look because I've already got my skin done. I got sent this palette in the post by Revolution. Their PR kindly sent me out a nice parcel, and I just thought I really wanted to try these colours on camera. Blues and sort of greens, they're quite challenging actually to formulate right, and these are very, very affordable products. So I wanted to see if, well, how they perform. I've actually been getting back into my soft ochre paint pot, which I haven't used in absolutely forever. I used it on a client of mine for a music video recently, and I just remembered how much I loved it. I think when you're doing a colourful eyeshadow look like this, you really do need a clean base for your eyeshadow, and also you need something for it to stick to. Blues and greens and these sort of colours, they can be a little bit tricky to work with, so I feel like if you give them a little bit of help, you might be in a better position come the end of the look. So I'm sort of completely winging it from this look, but I'm wanting to put these sort of like greenier turquoisey shades on the eye. So I'm going to start off with the lighter shades. I'll see if I can put numbers up. Oh no, it's cool, they've got names on. So I'm going to use Crystal first, which is a very sort of like pale sky blue turquoisey colour. They're quite powdery in the pan. You can see there's a little bit of kickback there. Some of these are pressed pigments, so that could be why, but I'm not going to look individually. And I'm just going to place that directly into the crease while I'm looking down a bit. I'm just looking for a real wash of this colour to begin with. I'm doing it with my eye open because, as anyone with hooded eyes knows, if you don't do it with your eye open, you're not going to see any of the work that you've done. I mean, the colour payoff is good. It's a teensy bit chalky, but I think these shadows always are because there's a lot of sort of white base in shadows of this sort of like pale colour. But this is really just to help us with our transition, so you don't have to worry too much. If you do have hooded eyes like me, make sure you keep looking ahead to see where the shape is going. And I'm just going to build that up. I'm now going to go in with the shade Melt here, which is a slightly deeper sort of turquoisey shade. And I'm using a finer brush so that I can get slightly more detailed in where I'm positioning the colour. And that's going really just into the deepest part of the crease to sort of kick that back and provide definition. But it's really specific placement, that just in this area here. And then just sort of gently brushing that into the inner corner here, just above the crease. I'm looking right down into a mirror to do this, to kind of give even more sort of socket definition here. These are blending really, really nicely. And the payoff is, I mean, you can see it's really, really solid. Getting another little blending brush just because I feel like I've made that quite harsh. Now for something even deeper, I'm going to go in with Iceberg, which is this blue shade here. Now these blue colours are so difficult to make. So this one's not a pressed pigment, and I'm just taking it on a very fine brush in the outermost corner of the eye here. Wow, the payoff for that's great. I'm quite surprised actually, and it's blending over this the other matte colour as well. Sometimes there's an issue with sort of matte colours, that they don't lay well over each other and they sort of kick each other up, but this actually hasn't happened at all with this shade. That's really, really pretty. Okay, so off camera I kind of played with that shape a little bit just so I could see what was the most flattering for me. Keeping going in that Iceberg blue shade, what I basically did was wing this out from the outside corner here and then slightly connect it just into my crease here. Now a lot of that is covered up by my hood when I'm looking straight ahead, but I think it just looks quite flattering in terms of that sort of drawn upwards shape. And then if I lift my hood, you can kind of see what actually has happened under there. So you can see the lift and then it links just straight back into the crease here. I'm going to apply a shade all over the inner crease here now, and I think it's going to be Glacier, which is a really shimmery silver. I just feel this is obviously very green and blue, so I could pop something a little more icy and fun. Payoff on that looks pretty great too. Maybe this would be best with fingers though. Let's have a look. Yeah, I mean, the pigment on that is absolutely incredible, and I love the sort of shade of it. It's a little chunkier than a regular shimmer. It does feel a little bit like a glitter, but I think it looks really, really nice, and it stands out. You know, I would never really think of like a silver shimmer to go with this, but I mean, it works. It has sort of left my transition looking a bit messy, so I'm going to go back in with Melt and just dab that here so that the blue and the green and the silver all just blend in that slight bit better together. You can kind of go back between your brush with the shimmer and your brush with, you know, the matte green to just make the best blend. To me, a look with this much on the top would look a little bit silly if it didn't have anything on the bottom. So I'm going to go in with, there's just still so many colours to choose from, like, that are all beautiful. I'm going to go in with a different shade. I'm going to go in with Break. This is actually more greeny, and I'm going to take that just with an angled brush on the very, very outside of the eye, just to try and chime in with that blue to, again, draw it up. I'm only going on the outer sort of third of the eye. I'm even going a little bit on the waterline just to give a little bit of sort of shape and definition. Now, I do need this shade to just blend into nothing into the rest of the eye, but I don't want to drag it too far because I'm not looking to take the colour all the way in. So I'm just using a really fine brush and making sure that blends out. You want to be really, really careful here. You do not want to move this around too much. This is a very specific shape and placement that you don't want to mess with. Now, in the ideal world, what I would also do here is take this color that I've just used here onto the inner corner and do a sort of little cat eye shape. But I have a little fold in one of my eyes, which, I don't know, sometimes you might have noticed it on camera here, and it makes it impossible for me to do that little cat flick in the corner without it looking really messy. But if you're going to do any look like this that's as bold as this, it looks really good if you can bring that inner corner down. Although this has been a million steps, my final step is to take this shade Cool here on a tiny little brush and just take that on the inner bottom corner. I just feel like there's so much going on, I may as well just do a little bit of a sort of corner highlight here. I love to draw light into this inner corner. I just think it's a very flattering and beautiful thing to do. Even into the little fold of skin that I was talking about. All right, so here's the finished look. Sometimes with makeup, you just kind of follow the fantasy and see where it leads you. I popped on some lashes. These are the number 7 Light and Wispy from Eyelure, but in the 3/4 length. Ironically, the 3/4 are literally the whole length of my eye, just because I've got really small eyes, but I think you need lashes to stand up to a look as big as this. I've tried a slightly different shape on my lip line. I've seen a lot of people on Instagram and YouTube, they just really enhance the Cupid's bow and then keep to their normal shape the rest of the lip. Not sure I love it. I feel like it looks a little too swoopy, but hey ho. So let's talk about the palette. I think this has been fantastic. All of the colours I've tried have been really, really amazing. Very pigmented. You can see the pair from my eyes. It's absolutely incredible, especially for a reasonable price. Like, Makeup Revolution is at such a low price point. And I think that's incredible. The mattes, I guess, are pigmented. They sometimes took a little minute for me to sort of build up, where they were a little bit sort of chalkier and drier. But you just have to press them in over the top and then you get the full colour payoff. And the shimmer, I think you can see, is fantastic. I'm really impressed. Blue is an incredible, well, I suppose I used a lot of greens as well, but blues and greens are very, very hard to do. So it's really impressive that they've managed to create this palette. I don't even think I said what it's called. It's the Forever Flawless in Ice. So yeah, I highly recommend this. If you do go for sort of more expensive or more pro products, you get that slightly creamier feel to the shadows. But I think for your average day-to-day use, or even if I was doing an editorial and I needed a really specific colour and I didn't want to spend £20 on an eyeshadow, this would be a fantastic choice. Please do let me know what you think of the look in the comments below. I know it's quite full on. If you have any questions, do let me know. I'd love for you to hit the bell notification so that you're notified every time I do an upload. I'm trying my best to do as many videos as I can so that I can keep bringing content for you. Subscribe to the channel and hopefully I will see you again next time. Bye guys.